Saturday morning. Stay tuned for additional updates. I'm meteorologist Derek Height.
A winter weather advisory in effect from midnight tonight through midnight Friday night. Snow accumulations expected in the 2 to 3 inch range along and east of a McLean County to Scott County line from midnight tonight through midnight Central Time Friday night. Plan on slippery road conditions. The hazardous conditions could impact the Friday morning as well as the evening commutes.
Central Illinois' news, agriculture, and sports station. WHOW on all its platforms, AM, FM, and streamed online, are bringing all the great things happening at our local high schools to the radio in January. We're hitting the road for the WHOW High School Road Tour. Join us when we broadcast live from Monticello High School from 9 until 10 in the morning on Monday, January 13th. We'll be interviewing the Monticello High School principal, athletic director, student council president, and one of the club's student presidents. This WHOW High School Road Tour stop at Monticello High School is brought to you by these sponsors. Dobson Heating, Air Conditioning, and Refrigeration in Monticello, serving the heating and cooling needs of our neighbors since 1980. And Piatt County Collision Center in Monticello. Visit their Facebook page or website at PiattCountyCollisionCenter.com.
Return to an active lifestyle and higher quality of living with Gibson Area Hospital Orthopedics. Your orthopedic health is important, and Dr. Brett Keller specializes in joint replacement, robotic total joint replacements, general orthopedic care, and fracture care. Warner Hospital provides award-winning orthopedic health to DeWitt County with Gibson Area Hospital Orthopedics. Now scheduling patients at the Warner Specialty Clinic in Clinton. Call 217-784-4340.
Liberty Village of Clinton's Memory Lane provides fitness for the mind. Hi, I'm Jill Rieger, Director of Marketing. Our memory care program focuses on an individual's strengths for personalized care. Click on our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
SIU Family Medicine wants the best health for you and your family. Be a champion. Protect your loved ones. The SIU Center for Family Medicine of Lincoln is accepting new patients. Click their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com to schedule your appointment.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in studio today is Lincoln Police Chief Joe Meister. Good morning, Chief. Good to see you.
Good morning, Seth. Thanks for having me back.
For sure. Thanks for making the trip over, and appreciate you doing that and joining us here this morning. And I know that you and I have had a lot of conversations the last several visits about property crimes in Lincoln, but I know you made a pretty big arrest to end 2024. Tell us a little bit about what happened in Lincoln recently.
Yeah, these arrests that we made at the end of 2024 weren't related to property crimes. They were narcotics and weapons violations. Mm-hmm. It was a multi-jurisdictional effort to conduct investigations regarding the delivery of methamphetamine, fentanyl, heroin, and also the unlawful sale of firearms. So that resulted in 24 arrests. There were a few arrests made earlier in the year regarding the same types of investigations, but this single effort ended in 24 arrests. Little under 2 kilograms of methamphetamine seized, a couple pounds of cocaine, and then quite a bit of fentanyl, but that's kind of hard to register because a lot of it's in pill form. So
okay, yeah. So the 24 to end 24, huh?
yeah, exactly.
Sure. Now, being a multi-jurisdictional effort, does that mean that this ring and all these players, were in different, not necessarily different areas, but it encompassed a lot of, maybe travel for them, different investigation points, all that stuff?
No, the targets of these investigations were residents of the city of Lincoln and a few in Logan County as well. Mm-hmm. Those investigations were conducted by Lincoln and Logan County police officers who are assigned to the Central Illinois Enforcement Group, which is a narcotics task force that is overseen by the state police. Mm-hmm. So our investigators targeted the individuals responsible for those crimes in our community, and then we called for assistance through the United States Marshal Service to serve the arrest warrant. So,
How long do those investigations take?
they can take months to years, depending on how big they are, how many people are involved in them.
This one sounds pretty big.
Yeah. This was about a 6-month investigation that took place.
Nice.
Which, resulted in, I would say, 30 people.
The multi-jurisdictional effort, is that just kind of protection for your investigators, whether they're undercover or the like?
Well, that's a sensitive subject. So
Yeah, no, feel free to tell me if I'm asking something out of bounds. That's cool.
I'll refrain from answering any questions specifically regarding how that unit operates.
Yeah, fair enough. Sure.
But we do collaborate with several other Central Illinois law enforcement agencies to make that group of investigators, and it's extremely valuable to each and every community that's involved in it.
Yeah, for sure. Now, to kind of maybe segue a bit into our next subject, we were talking before we got started, the bite though of those types of arrests and those sorts of things, not maybe as sharp as they once were. Why is that?
Right. Well, because of the Safety Act, a lot of these offenses aren't detainable offenses anymore. Back when I was participating in that task force, we'd conduct a roundup, and all of these individuals charged with very serious felony offenses were held on bond. So many of them weren't released until their trial was complete, and most often they went to prison. Now, since many of these, again, serious felony offenses aren't detainable, these folks are arrested after a long investigation, and then they're released on pretrial conditions of release.
Yeah.
So oftentimes you see them going back to doing exactly what they were doing before their arrest.
Yeah. So while it is a good thing that you're, making those arrests and those efforts, it doesn't necessarily equate to complete safety for the community at that point.
That's correct. Unfortunately, like I said before, these people go back to doing what they were doing prior to their arrest, and that doesn't affect how we're doing our job. We're doing the same thing we always have been. We're responding to crimes, we're investigating complaints, we're making arrests, and even though these folks may get out, we're going to continue to do that.
Yeah. I know I could save this question for probably the end, but I'll just ask it now. How frustrating is that?
It's very frustrating. It's frustrating to law enforcement, and it's frustrating to our community. We got a lot of folks that are upset, citizens that are upset that they see the same folks arrested, charged, and then released over and over again. And I share their frustration.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's dive into that. I had the mayor on a week or two ago. We talked about this, actually. He mentioned it's starting to boil over to where people are coming to the Clinton City or to the Lincoln City Council and saying, hey, this is an issue. We have to do something about this. Just speak to that frustration you're seeing, you're hearing. How about some of those things, Chief?
Right. Well, like I said, we got a lot of frustrated people, and I'm glad to see them coming before their community's representatives to voice their frustrations, because that's how the information or the complaint makes it to the top, to the people who are responsible for making those decisions. We're going to petition the Illinois legislature for changes in the Safety Act to allow for more restrictive pretrial conditions and for more detention.
Talk to me a little bit about what's going on in Lincoln. I know we've covered this before, but remind us what's happening in Lincoln.
Yep, a lot of things are going on. Again, property crime, we're seeing an increase in that. And really that's the most frustrating thing for people to deal with, for the citizens to deal with. It's just one of those offenses, again, that isn't detainable. So we're seeing folks getting out of jail and reoffending.
So let's talk about, I know you had mentioned to me when we caught up late last year, trying to compile some data and just find out where Lincoln stood pre-Safety Act and post-Safety Act. And I guess before we do that, remind us of the premise of the Safety Act. What is this all about? Why is this such a big talking point for folks that may not know?
it began with bail reform, and the legislature's idea was to, I guess, create a more fair environment where people, no matter their demographics, are treated the same in order to be released from custody. I believe that before, when we did have cash bail, folks were treated the same either way. If a person was held on $1,000 bond for a battery, it doesn't matter if they were a millionaire or a person in poverty. It's still $1,000. You got to come up with it. So that was the premise of the Safety Act, and now we see the effects of it.
Yeah, and of course you mentioned people getting out before, and returning to the things they were doing. So in compiling data, I don't know how much you want to divulge on that, but what have you found?
Yeah, so what I did was I went pre-Safety Act, so I looked at the numbers for property crimes in 2022, and then I compared them to the property crimes that were reported in the city of Lincoln in 2024, and what we've seen is a 24 and some change % increase in both theft and burglary. So you combine those together, and you're looking at a 50% increase in property crime.
Why'd you skip 23?
So, because the Safety Act took effect about 2/3 of the way into the year, so those numbers were going to be very difficult to sift out.
When it comes to 2022, you go back and look at those things. How long was maybe a person that was committing these crimes, property crimes and the like, how long were they detained before they were, whether it was released or they were prosecuted or whatever, how long were they not on the streets of the community?
Well, until they made bail.
Okay.
Until they came up with the amount of money that the court deemed appropriate to ensure their appearance in court.
Okay. Now, to that end, someone could post bail and go right back to committing property crimes. Did you see that much in 22?
Not quite as often.
Why is that? Or why do you think that is, I guess?
Because at some point in time, folks run out of money. So the risk of being caught deters a person from violating that bail that they've put up. So say a person was caught for a burglary and they posted $500 cash bail. If they commit another burglary, they forfeit that first $500 to the court, and then a new bail is set, and same goes. So,
can bail be increased for a second offense? And those
it sure could have been prior to September 18th of 2023.
Yeah. So, a lot of the arguments on the pro safety side is, one of the reasons was bail was always used as kind of a revenue generator for communities. I know that's one thing Sheriff Walker here in DeWitt County has talked about, is like people argue that, it's been a revenue source for communities. I guess speak to that side on the law enforcement piece.
Well, it doesn't make any difference to us because bail doesn't go to the law enforcement agency that's responsible for the arrest. That would go through the county court system, through the circuit clerk. So you'd have to ask a clerk where that money goes.
Yeah.
But for us, it made no difference. The true intention of cash bail, my understanding, is to ensure a person's appearance in court. And I believe that's from the Illinois Supreme Court rules when cash bail was something that we had.
As you looked at the 24 data, Chief, did you find new spikes in new types of crimes?
Yeah, again, the property crimes,
Okay. Oh, okay. I felt like that existed before 23 and into 22.
They did exist, absolutely, but when you're looking at a 24% increase on those crimes, I call that a spike.
Yeah, no, but were there like new types of crimes that started to turn up because of the Safety Act besides the property crimes?
No, we do have violation of pretrial release conditions, which is a new thing since the cash bail went away. So that's something new that we deal with, but we're dealing with the same kind of crime we always have.
Yeah. Any increase in like drug activity or anything like that in that time?
We had a 68% increase in drug seizures in Lincoln
Wow.
compared to 2023.
Yeah.
So,
do you think that's directly related to the Safety Act?
yeah, I think
you?
the
Okay.
rise in all crime is. Yeah, absolutely. You have people out more often that are predisposed to committing crimes. So the more freedom they have, the more crimes they commit.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, gotcha. Very good. Well, Chief, anything on the data you've broken down that stood out to you that maybe we haven't touched on? Anything from 22 compared to 24 that, like I said, stood out we didn't get to this morning?
No.
Easy enough.
That's a boring question or a boring answer.
No, but that's fine for sure. I know you're going to kind of put that out in detail here soon. When can folks maybe anticipate some of that being out there from the police departments?
Probably in the next couple of weeks.
Cool.
I still have some different metrics to come up with for the city council and mayor.
Gotcha.
Before I'm ready to release it all at the same time.
Good enough. Clinton. Lincoln Police Chief Joe Meister in studio with us. More to come with the Chief on the morning show.
WHOW.
Today. Let's check the markets now on the RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn, beans, and Chicago wheat all steady at this hour. March corn up 1.5, 455.5. May corn up a penny, 463.5. July corn, 466 3/4, also up a penny. January beans down 1 3/4, 985 3/4. March beans down half a penny, 994. May beans 10.04.5 down 1 1/4. March Chicago wheat 532 down 4 1/4. May wheat down 4 1/4, 544 1/4. January bean meal down $1, 291.60. January bean oil 40.84 down 27 cents. Livestock market January feeders 268.70 up 312. February live cattle up 215, 195.85. February lean hogs up 232, 81.80. Energy market, February crude oil up 51 cents, 73.83. A noon close today. Jim Taylor on
It's no secret that employers are having a difficult time hiring qualified personnel, whether full or part-time. The Miller Media Group wants to help you, the employer, to find the candidates you're looking for. That's why we've created IllinoisJobPost.com. That's IllinoisJobPost.com. This website is part of a broad radio and internet employment campaign available through the Miller Media Group. Contact your account manager or email sales@randyradio.com for more information. IllinoisJobPost.com is where we put the power of radio and the internet to attract prospective candidates.
If the flu's got you down, the Warner Hospital and Health Services Walk-In Clinic inside Family Medicine can help you feel better fast. CEO Paul Skowron inviting you to make us your backup plan to better health. Find out more by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police splatter, weather forecast, and more. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Again, Lincoln Police Chief Joe Meister in studio with us today. And Chief, you know, we talk about the breakdown of data that you've done in the city of Lincoln. What are you going to do with all that?
We're going to share it once it's all completed, share it with the Lincoln City Council and mayor, of course. And then hopefully put together some information for our local legislature, Bill Howder and Sally Turner, and ask that they take that to their partners at the state capitol and share that with them so that they have a picture of what's going on in our community. And I think it's no different than what all the other communities around us are experiencing. Hopefully those other communities do the same.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I was kind of just thinking of that as you were talking. You know, maybe they, not necessarily Sally or Dr. Hodder, but like the other lawmakers, you know, like the Chicago area ones, where they say, well, that's just a small town in rural Illinois. Nobody else is talking to us about this, so the system obviously works. You know, thoughts on that?
Well, unfortunately certainly feel that way.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's a frustration shared by a lot of downstate Illinoisans. You know, it seems that a blind eye is turned to our complaints, our grievances, when it comes to the majority of the legislature.
Yep, very good. Well, Chief, again, just to kind of put a bow on that conversation, anything we didn't get to in property crime, you know, the report you're putting together, anything we didn't touch on, you want to put out there for us?
Just that we're still doing our job out there. We're still going to respond to complaints of theft and burglary. We're still going to respond to all other complaints and treat it the same way that we did prior to the Safety Act. The cops can't control what the courts decide to do with the bad guy after we catch him. We're going to still go catch him for you, though.
Very good. Well, Chief, let's spend our last 3-4 minutes here talking about what's good in the police department right now. What do y'all got going on?
Well, we're still hiring, so looking to be fully staffed. That's always a struggle, but we're making some progress with that. So happy to report that. Still looking at expanding some different programs like the Downtown Safety Initiative camera program. We got some new cameras slated to be installed in the next couple of weeks.
Have you seen the benefits of those already?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask how so?
Yeah, no problem at all. We've used the footage from those cameras that we have installed already for investigations regarding batteries, investigations regarding criminal damage, burglary, theft, and we've received good evidence from that footage and been able to make arrests and get convictions.
Do you feel like those are deterrents for future incidents?
I hope they will be. You know, as I said, we've used them as evidence, so folks are still, you know, doing what they do down there. But
right.
But at some point in time, I think once they're used enough, they will become a deterrent.
Downtown Lincoln's relatively safe.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, every downtown area is going to have minor incidents. We haven't had any major violent crimes downtown. You know, during some public events, you might have some kids fighting or something like that. You know, and that's what I was referring to.
Gotcha. Very good. So with you talked about the hiring. How is your staffing at this point?
Well, we just started a new officer this past week at the academy. So he's got 16 weeks of training to do before he comes back and starts his field training. And then a new officer just came out of the academy at the end of December, and he's on field training now. So looking forward to those two guys getting trained up and counting towards staffing.
Yep.
More boots on the ground.
Do you look for those lateral transfers?
I'd love to see more lateral transfers. It's a really competitive environment out there right now for laterals. The state police is hiring so many troopers right now that it's pretty hard to compete with their salary and benefits for smaller agencies.
Yeah, and that's one thing I heard a good point made was, you know, yes, it sounds great that there are more troopers going to be on, you know, state highways and all those things, and that's a good thing. But the problem with that is that they're pulling from small departments like Clinton, Lincoln, you know, Atlanta, those types of places.
Right. Yeah, it's a real struggle for us. And a lot of these departments, like you mentioned, the smaller municipal agencies are really offering good pay and benefits. So it's frustrating for us to see folks passing up an opportunity at Lincoln to go on to the state police for, you know, a few thousand extra dollars.
Yeah.
Lincoln's offering $75,000 a year base pay for a year one patrolman. So that's good money.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, for sure. Do you struggle to retain guys once you get them?
We have lost some folks that qualified as lateral officers. So in Illinois, once you have 2 years of full-time experience and you're in good standing with the department that you serve, you're eligible to become a lateral transfer. And a lot of times the agencies seeking laterals will offer them extra benefits like a sign-on bonus or like the Illinois State Police is offering a shortened training program for laterals.
Gotcha. Chief, I have run out of time with you, unfortunately. How do folks learn about or follow along with the Lincoln Police Department?
You can see the Lincoln Police Department on Facebook. The City of Lincoln is actually redesigning its website, so there'll be a new webpage out there, City of Lincoln, LincolnIL.gov.
Very good. Chief, always good to see you. Thanks for making time for us. Lincoln Police Chief Joe Meister in studio. Network News on the way.
WHO